Okay, my people. We are in the spot. Now I'm going to uncharacteristically take a few more minutes because I threw you guys a newbie curveball. The newbie curveball, we've been hyping up this event and giving you a specific address to appear at. And I realized I had to change that about 5 minutes ago because I had an incorrect setting. So I want to give folks a minute to go to the old location, see the sign where they can make the click, and come on in here. So we're going to wait just a couple of minutes, Charmaine. So
Okay.
as we are kind of getting ready to go and letting people make this adjustment, I am going to go back here and see if I can help intercept some folks and help them get where we need them to be.
Do you need me to do anything on my end with my group?
With your group, if you can send them, let me give you the following info. I will put this in the chat for you right quick. And again, my apologies, my sincere apologies. Everyone who has been planning on this, you were looking forward to this, and my tech gremlins got the best of me. So I take full responsibility, and I certainly do hope and pray that we're able to get some folks adjusted and kind of resituated here, because we have something quite special situated and sorted for you today. So take a minute and let's get on in here. Let's get on in here and let us get on in here. So as we're waiting for folks to come in, Charmaine, you can let me know if you were able to see the new location that you can share with folks in your network.
Yep, I have it, and I'm about to post it.
Okay, perfection. Fantastico. So, okay, my people. So I'm actually broadcasting in a couple of different places. For those of you that had the original address, here's what I'd love for you to do. If you check the comment section, I've loaded in an updated address for you to come in and join us here. So if you're coming in, you'll look into the comments feed and you'll see the updated address where you can join us in, where you can feel free to jump in and join Charmaine and I for the conversation of your week. We are going to be talking about love. But let me tell you what had happened was the tech gremlins came up in my room last night and gave me a whooping. Okay, so I put the wrong thing and I had the wrong setting. So, all right, y'all check it out. Look at the comments feed. I'm going to leave this open. Look at the comments feed. You're going to see a link in there that will take you into the live stream where you can see my wonderful guest, Charmaine Flanagan, who is the founder and Love Strategist. So, you know, I was charged just when I heard her say Love Strategist, being that I'm a positivity strategist and everything. So, you know, I was hyped about that. So you will be able to see her with us together if you go to the alternate location. Okay, so I see you guys are making your way over there. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Ain't nothing like these technological little stutter steps that we have as we are continuing to recreate our connections in this COVID environment. So I just say thank you. I'm going to leave that open. Now, to my folks that are still coming in on the original address, you're going to see me occasionally looking back and forth so I can tell you what you need to do to join Charmaine and I in the live broadcast room. So I think we're starting to see some people float in here. So I want to give folks one more minute to come on in here. As some of you who've worked with me before, you know I am a PK. And some of you may know what that means. A PK means I'm a preacher's kid. So one of the things that I would often hear in church with my mom is, come on in this house. Come on in this house. So as you all are filtering in, come on in, make yourself comfortable. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to make sure you grab a pen, make sure you grab some paper, because this young woman has some good stuff for us today. So, with that, I want to go ahead and give one last note to some folks that are coming in on the original page. Please check the comments feed on that original location for the live broadcast. You'll see there's an alternative address in here. Please click that alternative address so you can join Charmaine and I live, and you can engage with us that way. So thank you so much. And again, I'll kind of keep checking in on you guys as we go, but click that link and we'll see you in the main room. So with that, let's go ahead and get going. I want to just get you guys situated and sorted a little bit. I want to make sure that you know you're in the right place. Go ahead, if you're watching us on YouTube, just go ahead and hit the comments here. Let us know where you are coming from, and let us know, give me a hashtag real love if you are ready to dive into this conversation and come out with something new, come out with a new treasure. Let us know, hashtag real love. You are down for it. You are here for it. So here is where you are. I'm Dr. Nicole Bossard, and this is the studio, specifically the Practicing Positivity Studio. This space is created to be a shared learning lab that is really designed for lifelong learning and for you to cultivate a lifelong practice that nurtures the life-giving forces, the life-giving things in your world. So last week, we talked about thriving women, thriving world, the power of appreciative and affirmative questions. We're going to expand that conversation today by talking about real love with Charmaine Flanagan. And I'm going to have her talk some about herself, but I want to say kind of how we're going to do this. I see you coming in, TC Maxwell, that Real Love Maryland. Check that screen, TC, hit that alternate link. I want you to be able to come over here with us so you can see Charmaine and get what we have for you. Now, check it out. Our goal in this learning lab is to, or the studio is to discover, uncover, and for most of us, we're going to reclaim and recover those things that give life, those things that restore energy, those things that reconnect us to that sense of purpose, the things that make life worth living. So that's what this space is intended to be and to do for you and with you. So, and I have to underscore that reframe, you guys. This is intended as a space that we co-create together. So there are no sages on stages and experts in front of the room. You have your own wisdom. So even though this is a live stream, Charmaine and I are going to be speaking with you like we're at the coffee shop together. And we're some good girlfriends having a good conversation. So be ready, be ready. So here's the deal. What's love got to do with it anyway? So as I set that question up, this is really our transition to Charmaine Flanagan. Charmaine. Soror Charmaine. So hold up, y'all. Shout out. I am calling for a red alert to all of my Delta, Sigma, Theta sisters up in the place. Hit that comments feed and let us know, hashtag red alert. If you are in the spot and you are ready, let us know you are here. Okay. So what we are here to do with you all today, we are here to talk with you about real love. As you read in the description, Hollywood has a lot of ideas about what love is. We all grow up with a lot of stories about what love is. But Charmaine and I wanted to have a conversation with you about what real love is. So with that, I want to give you a sense of who you're talking to and who's at the coffee shop with us. So Charmaine Flanagan, as I said, is the founder and love strategist of Woo Forever LLC. And she believes in the inherent good in humanity. And so I want to, Charmaine, I want to stop there, and I want to hand the mic to you so that you can share with people who you are, where you're coming from, and why love, why now, and what do you have? How do you want people to enter into this conversation today?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nicole. I appreciate the invitation. We have been vibing. So yes, we are sorors, but many people don't know this, but we were talking and we were having such a good vibe. And I don't know how it came up, but we have the same birthday. We're birthday twins.
That's right.
October 4th. So we share a lot in common. And so it's been wonderful to spend time with you over the last couple of months, just getting to know you. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate you very much. And thank you for allowing me to be here and to talk about what I'm so passionate about, which is love. Yeah. I'd like to start by just thanking those who have come before me, who have been talking about love and who have been spreading the message of love long before me, who have been my teachers: Bell Hooks, James Baldwin, Audre Lorde, Toni Morrison, Jackie Lewis, Mark Charles. There's so many people that have been doing this work long before me that I want to first acknowledge and thank them for leading us down a path of love and showing us the way. I want to thank my family and friends who are here that also show up in love for me. So thank you very much for allowing me to be here. Love is there's nothing more important than love right now. Yes. The world there's a lot of unrest. And I think love is the answer. And while I know most people would roll their eyes up in their heads, and probably I would too, but over the last 11 years of researching love is the answer. And so we're going to dig deep into what I mean by love being the answer. I also want to shout out Sharon Salzberg as well. Sharon Salzberg, Ruby Sales, like I'm throwing these names out of women and people who have poured love into us. Linda Salsor and Valerie Kerr as well. So thank you.
Excellent.
I come with them. Maya Angelou.
Yes. Come on. And still we rise. So, I always like to start just to get everybody on the same page. I want you all to take a minute. Remember, I asked you to grab a pen and paper. So I want you to be thinking about what love is. If you were going to describe it, if you were going to define it, if you had to somehow let someone else know what love is, what would you say? So just take a moment. Don't be startled in the live stream. We're going to give you a moment of silence just for you, or quiet. And I know those of you who know me are laughing, but I know how to be quiet. To think about, what is my definition? What's my kind of foundational starting point when I think about love? Real love, y'all, not the theoretical love, what you think love should be. Take a minute and think about, what do I think love really is? So take a moment, think about that, and just jot it down. Pull it out of the ethers and jot it down on your notebook real quick. To give you a little journaling music. Good to see you. Mr. Rita. Welcome. So go ahead and just take a few more seconds now. You just want to give yourself a little bit of a lay of the land. Now, no dissertations necessary, no perfect responses required. What we are inviting you to is an authentic conversation about love. Okay, now, Miss Charmaine, I want to hand it back to you. Before you lay out your definition of love, I have it up on the screen here. You're the founder and love strategist at Woo Forever LLC. So I want to really leave this to you. If you want to jump right into the definition of love and flow from there, we can. If it is a facilitating or helpful factor to kind of tell the story of Woo Forever as an entree to that, you can enter that way. However you want to do it.
Okay. So how do I want to introduce this? So I've been on this intentional journey for a long while now, trying to understand love. And so, we hear the saying, be the change we want to see. So I want to see more love. So what does it mean for me to be the change I want to see? So I took it as a personal responsibility to dig down and learn about love. Every book I could find, every video I could find about what it means to show up in love. And the one thing that I do know for sure is this is something that I've wondered about my whole life. I would watch people, even as a child. You hear in so many settings, especially in church, that love your fellow man. But I would look out in the world and I would really just not understand what love is. And what I found out is that love has had a undeservedly bad rap, right? We use love in such irresponsible ways, and we're not held accountable to it. So we use love all over the place. And so I thought, how can I learn this thing and be this thing? And so this journey started 10 years ago, or actually almost 11 years ago. But of course, I started with the idea of looking at romantic love, because that's where we unconsciously and consciously, when we think about love out in the world, what comes first and foremost is romantic love. And so through that journey, that's where I started, but that wasn't it, right? So it was self-love. Like, how do I first learn how to love myself before I learn how to love others? And not a way of, so love and self-love have had undeservedly bad raps, right? If you love yourself, that's, you're considered narcissistic or selfish and all of those things. And so it was me wanting to get down to the bottom of this for my own healing, for my own freedom, and then for my own healing and freedom with relationships that I had in my life. So if love is the answer, then let me go find out how to do this. So there's not very many people teaching this, but those who are teaching it, they are like really breaking open so many barriers around this idea of love. So as I think about the definitions of love that I've found, I was talking to my friend Michael yesterday, he's one of the Love Shop facilitators. And I always say, like, love or self-love brings us back home to us. Right? And then we looked and discovered that it's self-recovery. It's about self-recovery, coming back and being whole to ourselves. But there's one definition that was introduced to me first by Bell Hooks, but she got it from M. Scott Peck. And he says, love is the will to nurture one's own or another's spiritual growth or personal growth, if spiritual growth doesn't sound right. So it's a will to nurture your own growth. And I do think that love is a spiritual thing, right? Yeah. It's not attached to any religion, but it is deeply spiritual. Yes. So as we talk about how love is it's the nurturing of your own spiritual growth in someone else, that's what, like, he hit it square on. Love is a choice. Love is intentional, and it's an action. All of those things he summed up in his definition of love. So we don't have to love, we choose to love. And so after reading his definition of love, it freed me in so many ways, because I was taught before that we just show up in love. but it's something that we must practice. It's something that's intentional and it requires action. It's more than a feeling.
Mm. Oh, wait a minute now. Say that again. Say it again. Preach
So
on.
love is action. It's
Mhm.
intentional and it's more than a feeling.
Yes, yes. So wherever you're listening from, if you all are hearing that, if you are picking up what Charmaine is putting down, put it in the comments feed. What did you just hear about real love and what it does in practice, not our kind of ideas about it? What did you hear from Charmaine that really has caught your attention? Let us know in the chat. Love is action. Love is nurturing my own and another's spiritual growth. Love is about me doing beyond myself. That's a little Napoleon paraphrase, Charmaine. I realize you didn't actually say that.
Yeah, but no, it's very intentional.
Okay.
And so it set me on a journey of, so how can I show up in this spiritual practice of love that's intentional, that
Mhm.
it's something that I'm choosing, and how can I show up in action with it?
Yes.
Right. So it's been a lot of unlearning and relearning and expanding and growing. And it's hard. Right. So when James Baldwin says that love has never really been a popular movement
Mhm.
and it's held by very few people, I now understand what he means.
Mm.
Love requires us to let go of our ego and to
Yes.
really center ourselves first with how we love ourselves, but then how we love other people, like how we love humans. It's hard work, but
Mhm.
it's healing work, right? It allows us to be free and it
Mhm.
allows those around us to also be free as well.
Now, say more about that. You know, we're in a moment here, not just in America, but around the world, where, as you said earlier, love, we may have heard and we may have believed at some point that love was the answer, but I want you to talk about what is the relevance or the power of love right now in what we're experiencing in the country and in the world as you're
Yeah.
talking, you're defining it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of unrest, right? There's a lot of othering. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things that are pulling us apart and not pulling us together and
Yes.
not helping us come together.
Yes.
And so as I think about and show up in love, the way that I've learned about love and the way that I love myself,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot treat my fellow man, my
Mm-hmm.
fellow woman in any way but love. Love has required me to show up and see humanity fully for who we are, right? And so love is not selfish. And
Mm-hmm.
so as we see what's happening in the world, we
Yes.
continue to see this othering and this separateness and this putting people in different buckets and doling out this person gets this much love while this person may get that much love. It's all of this hierarchical behavior around who deserves love, right?
Yeah.
But we all deserve love. It's our birthright. I believe that it is our birthright and that we need to take this thing more serious. We need to be more responsible and accountable to how
Mm-hmm.
we show up in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that will then help us come together, right? It
Mm-hmm.
helps us come together and see that every human being deserves love and to be loved. And so when we see this unrest, when we call out the injustices, because there's many injustices, when we call them out, it makes me wonder, like, where is love in your heart that would allow you to do such things like put your knee on someone's neck
Mm-hmm.
or to jump out of a car and just shoot or to
Mm-hmm.
even just your neighbor, just treat your neighbor right beside you in a way that you would never want to be treated?
Mm-hmm.
How do we correct ourselves, right? The
Yes.
rallying cry of we need more love in the world
Mm-hmm.
starts with us. And we
Mm-hmm.
all think, oh, I'm good with my love. It's not me that needs to change. It's everyone else out here. I'm good. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not until we center ourselves in what do I need to do
Mm-hmm.
to change? And how can I change in love that will allow me to, like when we do this, I think it unconsciously allows other people to get free and
Yeah.
to wonder about love differently.
Yes. Now I want to come back to something that you said that I think is so valuable, because we talk a lot about love in our culture, but there's no manual for it. There's no kind of way to do. So I want to ask you to come back. You said, how we show up in love. So how do we begin to cultivate that practice that brings love in, as you just said? Let's bring this focus inward instead of outward. And then what is the stuff that we're doing? What helps us cultivate that love space in our own heart and to grow it?
Yeah. So when I started this journey, I was flailing about, right? Where do I start? Where do I go? And I love books. I love reading. And I was starting to just pick up books. Like I just Googled books on love. And the first book that really got me straight, which was why I said her name first, is Bell Hooks' All About Love. And then I started listening to so many other people who were talking about love. Maybe they didn't write books about it, but I believe that we need to get straight and square on what we first even believe and understand about love before we even think we know it all, right? Like to just sit with ourselves and say, so what do I actually believe about love? What have I been taught about love? And be willing to question that, be willing to go past our beliefs about love, because the majority of us, our beliefs about where we stand in love, it came from how we grew up, whether we felt love or we didn't feel love, right? And how we experienced love. And so I think that, when this is what shapes us, right? So if some of us had parents who really loved us, we had love shaped in a certain way. If we had parents who maybe someone was missing in the family or you were treated differently, like we have this idea starting with our childhood that may not have changed.
Yes.
We may be living in this idea of love that has moved us through our adulthood that we didn't change or even inquire about love. We get taught so many things, but we don't get taught how to love. And that is really important, that we start to really center ourselves around love. And I always say to people, and I learned this from Exchange, I'm not the sage on the stage. I'm the guide on the side. I'm living love in real time like everyone else. It's just I wake up every day passionate enough to continue to learn this thing and to help guide other people into, let's get centered with this. Let's center yourself first. Let's have this real conversation with yourself, because the deeper you love yourself, the more we can offer that love to other people. And that's how we change the world.
Yes.
That's how we change and be the change we want to see.
Now, you mentioned Exchange. Do you want to just let folks in who may be familiar, but we probably have a few people on here who aren't familiar. So do you want to speak a little bit about Exchange? You want me to do that, however?
Sure. I mean, I met you through Exchange, but I would rather you speak about it. It's been so rewarding for me. And it's actually this Exchange experience that John leads, that, I've been mentored by Jesse Harless, which has been really wonderful. And Monica and Gay and Dorita, they've all been really wonderful, but it has helped me position this love movement in a way that has allowed me to create love shop or love workshops that really help people open up around this idea of love and taking responsibility in it. But you can say more about Exchange.
I'll just say very quickly, folks, Exchange is an approach that is designed to unlock the collective wisdom of not just an individual, but any human system. So I want to just say a human system can be a human system of one, your entire being, your body, mind, and spirit. A human system of one, a human system of you and your spouse, lover, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or multiple wives or multiple husbands, whatever your situation is, or a team, or a family of 50, or a neighborhood, or a nation. So it is built on the root system of appreciative inquiry. And appreciative inquiry ties two key things together: to appreciate, to recognize with gratitude, to judge with a heightened consciousness, or just to value or admire highly, and inquiry, right? The power of questions, but not just any questions, positive questions that give life. So exchange is an approach that we use, and Charmaine has created multiple workshops around love and how to know it, grow it, live it in action, that allows us to come in and really look at what are the strengths I can build on, what's the wisdom that I can access, and how do I unlock it at speed and at scale. So it doesn't take me 35 lifetimes to get at this. I can have an experience of it immediately because I'm remembering that I'm building on something in that system that already works. So that's the quick piece about exchange. And it's valuable because this conversation that we've designed for you all is based on that approach. That's why we're really focusing on engaging you in a conversation and not simply talking at you through your screen. So if you're at your keyboard, give me a quick thumbs up, give me an amen, give me a I hear you, give me a right on. If you're picking up what we're putting down and why we're having this conversation about love in this way, that's what exchange is, and that's the relevance of it. So I want to come back though very quickly to something that you said. You said, I'm living love in real time like everybody else. And you also said allowing people or creating a space where people can actually take responsibility. And what occurred to me when you said that, Charmaine, is that it seems to me you're reminding people of their creative ability to design and redesign their love life, to not simply walk on with the inherited knowledges about love.
Yeah.
Is that a piece of what you're doing with this?
Yeah. So love requires us to grow up, right? And take responsibility for our lives. It's a very hard thing to do. But I believe that love is going to save us if we really look at this thing in the right way. And when we really get clear about it, right? Do we really want to be free? Do we really want to heal? It's going to take work. It's going to take us looking in the mirror. It's going to take us, yes, taking care of ourselves, but it's going to be collective love that's going to save us, right? So when I say that I'm living love in real time, I'm experiencing life just like everyone else. There are days when I'm like, what am I doing, right? We will make mistakes. We will fall. It is a journey, not a destination. For as long as I live on this earth, I will continue to learn about love. I am very sure about that. I am very sure until the moment I take my last breath, I will learn more about how to be in love with people, in love with myself, right? In ways that are life-giving, right? Not life-taking. So we also, we are exhausted. We give our love out to everyone else and we're so exhausted. How can we give more to ourselves, right? But it's starting here. It's learning how to do it here. And I think when we continue to open up the conversations and people really take this thing seriously and say, I'm so serious about wanting to have a better life that I'm willing to learn. Because a lot of people are not willing to learn love because they know it already. I get that a lot. I already know it. I'm good, right? And so if we know it, we've got to be it. And I'm not shaming anyone, but really what I'm trying to do is invite us into something bigger, invite us into something that is healing, invite us into freedom. I keep saying that, but it is an invitation to inquire more about what it is about this thing, love, about what love is. The poet Rumi, he says, and I'm not going to get it verbatim, but he says that love is here, but we have to find all of the ways that we have built against it, right? We have a lot of things. So I talk about some of the things that we've built against love is fear, guilt, shame, criticism, resentment. Like all of those things stop us from loving not just ourselves, but other people.
Yes.
So how do we address all of the things that we built against love?
Yes.
All of the fears that we have that don't allow us to love from a deeper place. What does our inner critic have us doing that keeps us from loving ourselves? How does shame play a role in the way that we can't show up and love ourselves? We are fully human and we
Yeah.
are fully flawed, and we can still be love. We can still, and we have, the other thing I want to make a point is that love, we are able to love, right? I have a shirt that says lovable.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Cassandra said to me that she has one of the shirts, and she said, it's not just that I'm lovable, but now I feel empowered to be love able. I have the ability to love, right? And so we think that love is this thing that is bestowed upon us or taken from us. But when we really stand in the ability, like I have the ability to love not just myself, but I have the ability to love other people, what does that look like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love is an ability and not something that's passive, that's just given or taken. Somebody can take it from us or give it to us, and that determines our worthiness of love.
Yes, yes, yes. So let me ask, I want to get you guys in on this because Charmaine is dropping wisdom bomb after wisdom bomb right now. And I see you, Miss Gay, lovable versus love able. Love able versus lovable. And so this idea, Charmaine, that I'm hearing, or the picture that's coming along with your words, is like love is it's like this active thing inside of us. It's like scrubbing bubbles. You know, Cheryl said, you know, clean the heart in the comments feed. You know, so as we're thinking about love and the active nature of this love, how would you start to talk with people about, or what could you give our folks that are listening now or on the replay? How could we encourage them to begin this journey of going from kind of love, you know, the love out there to the love in here, to, you know, maybe wanting to be lovable, to being love able? What's a way to engage people in this dialogue? And I heard you say one piece was you had to be willing for you to start learning more. What would be some, where should people go, or what are some of the things that you would give people to start to creating their own love lab for
Yeah.
themselves?
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, to just carry on this idea of being able to love, like really realizing that they have the ability
Mm-hmm.
to do this, right? This,
Yes.
and being willing to commit to yourself in this. The commitment to love requires, even when things don't make sense or if you mess up, the ability to get up, dust yourself off, and keep going, right? So I think there's the ability, the commitment, and the willingness. There's a willingness that I had to accept that what I know about, or what I knew about love, or what I thought I knew about love, that I was willing to unlearn those things and to really expand my heart around it, right? And so I can't think, you know, when you were a child, you spoke and thought as a child, and now you're an adult, you grow up. When I'm sorry to keep quoting James Baldwin, but when he says love is a battle, love is a war, love is a growing up, I sit with the love is a growing up. And it requires us to move past this small thinking around love. There's an expansion that happens where we really do see not just myself as lovable and love able, but everyone else. The redemption of humanity to be able to love each other, the collective love that comes after you really start to like commit to this ability, commit to not knowing it all, right? If we thought we knew everything about love, like question that, sit with that. And this is, and again, I say that this is an invitation. This is not to make people feel ashamed or think they should be in a certain place, because I've felt all of those things. Why don't I know this? Why didn't I know this? But then I thought, no one's really talking about it.
Yeah.
Right? No one, I never as a child had a conversation or someone say to me, let me show you what love looks like. Let me show you how to be love for yourself. And we can show, you know, that saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. That's why I say love is an action, because we can tell people all day long we love them and we can behave in different ways. Right. And we all think we own this love the right way. But when we move out of the way and really get clear, with it? Like, how willing are you to
Yeah.
come into like what the rest of us are doing and be willing to critically think? That's what I love about bell hooks. You critically think about love from a critical standpoint of how you're showing up in it in a way that allows you to go, huh, right. Like I need to grow in this area.
Yes.
And then you keep growing, which is why I said this is a journey and not a destination. This is the way that you heal from many, many things. And this is the way that we all get free. I keep saying it because I think that is the point to all of this.
Now, I want to pull out a couple of things that some of our folks have put in. Cheryl has said, you know, a living lab activity today. Pick one stranger and show a kindness to that person that I would like to be shown to me. And Michael put in, you know, the way that insecurity, fear, and lack of self-love influences division among us speaks to the value of love in helping us work toward unity. We need to find a way to incorporate active love.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yes.
And Cheryl, so I'd love for you to, as we were preparing for this, one of the points that we came up with is, you know, it's really tagging into Michael and Aaron. I see you too. Intentional actions, not just a feeling. And as you were just speaking, I heard a few things that could be kind of our database of awesome. Some things to go to if we really want to know love, grow love, and expand love in our world. And I have to keep coming back to this because you're doing so in such an eloquent way, Charmaine. We have to put ourselves at the center of all of that work. Am I following that?
Absolutely.
We have to be at the center of whatever work we're going to do about love. We have to bring ourselves to the center of it and not simply assume that love means it's out there, it's going out. It has to be attending to us. I heard you say a few things that I thought were, it's like, oh, I want to add this to my kit. Being open. Open to new things. And what occurred to me was being willing to release some of the old things, to let some things die, and that creating an opening for some stuff to be reborn, some new stuff to be born in. That was the one of the key things. And recognizing that we all have lovability. We all have, nobody's immune, nobody's been missed over. We all have this love ability. And then, of course, our commitment, and I heard actually resilience, recognizing that as we love, sometimes we're going to bomb. Sometimes it's really not going to work out. It's not going to come out the way we want it to. And having that be just a part of our process. And then the third piece the last piece that I heard was really a willingness to love self, a willingness to love others, and a willingness to really see that love expand to loving humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a part? What else would you put in your kit? What else is kind of in there? What's in the mix? What's in the soup?
It's all of that. And when you pointed out the willingness, right? If we think we're not touched by all of the things that we see out in the world, we're wrong. I think we're not touched by the biases and the hate and all of those things that we have to fling off. We're wrong. I look at it all the time in myself, right? I look at how I can continue to break away from these behaviors and things that keep us looking at other people in different ways, right? Seeing people and creating ideas about people based on even just what they look like, right? So I think that when we take responsibility for ourselves, and we really do start with self-love, which is where where these love shops have started, is let's look at your love. Let's expand on this. Let's walk through these things. Let's look at all the ways that we have built against this love. And that, like I said, the major things that we talk about through the love shops is fear, guilt, shame, criticism, resentment. Those are the big ones, right? Those are the big ones that we
Mhm.
need to look at. What are the fears that we have that can help us move, how love can like penetrate in those fears. And when
Mhm.
we think about, yes, we think about our the fears that we have in ourselves, but when we look out in the world,
Mhm.
people behave out of fear,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I I was recognizing that I was driving down the road and there was a police officer behind me. Now, I have a lot of police officer friends, and when I say friends, I have been in like having coffee with them. I've been in their house. I know the love that they have, or I know their humanity, right? But my heart was just beating super fast, and I got cold, and I thought, what is this fear? And I needed to name that fear because
Mhm.
I think, well, how would I react
Mhm.
if, like what does fear cause you to do? And
Yes.
that's just a like a blanket, like, there's a lot of things that we can touch on,
Mhm.
comes to fear, guilt, shame, all of those things. But I just invite people to do the hard work. Like, we need to stop giving love such a bad rap.
Mhm.
We need to stop being irresponsible with this thing. And we need to be willing to make mistakes and get back up. And I
Right.
think we need to stop being a society that shames people for their mistakes.
Mhm.
When I was young, the tabloids, every time a celebrity did something wrong, we were ready to shame them, put it out, blast them. And how do we really like bring people back to their wholeness? I
Mhm.
think love not only brings other people back to their wholeness, but how do we come back to our own?
Yes.
Because we will make mistakes in this thing. We
Yes.
will not do things perfectly. And I think, the idea that perfect love casts out all fear.
Mhm.
I think it's the will to. I think
Yes.
that's what it means. The will to keep going, the will to keep trying is is how you cast out all fear. So I believe that very much. But I
Mhm.
think, um, in that definition of M. Scott Peck, if I take you back to that definition, it's the will to nourish one's own
Mhm.
or another's
Mhm.
growth, right? It's
Mhm.
the will to be intentional. I'm willing myself to do this, right?
Yes.
And I'm willing to step back and like take a breath too and see what else I need to learn.
Yeah.
There's no one in living love in real time. I do, there are times where I'm like, why am I holding myself to this, trying to do these things right and perfect when I'm never going to be that, but I am trying, right? So if I come back after making a mistake with a genuine apology,
Mhm.
with a way to say, not only am I saying I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
here's how my behavior changes
Yes.
moving forward. It's the moment after, right? We
Mhm.
learn that in meditation, that
Yes.
it's, yeah, when you notice that your mind has gone like all over the place, it's that moment when you come back,
Yes.
to let me center myself, right? So it's the moment after mistakes will happen or things will happen. But learning forgiveness is
Mhm.
a big one when it comes to love.
Right.
Um, the book of forgiving was probably the one book that I had to read twice that set me straight, and it was by Bishop Desmond Tutu and his wife and his daughter Mfu Tutu, and it talks about forgiving, and I think that's a big part of love too.
And what's the name of that book again? The Book of Forgiveness?
Forgiving.
Forgiving
Mhm.
by, did you say Bishop Tutu?
Desmond Tutu, and his daughter.
Okay. Okay. You guys, I'm putting this in the comments field, another living love resource for you. So that's coming in for you guys to be able to tap down if my cursor would stop going crazy. Okay. Okay. Now I wanted to, and I actually want to bring you all in here for a second. There were two things that there, everything that you said, and part of why I keep looking away, you guys, I'm taking my own notes. I'm making my own little pathway for more love in my life. But I want to ask you all, that quote from Rumi is one of my favorites. It is not so much about how can I get more love, and I'm probably slaughtering what he actually said. And I'll come back and put it in here in the description. But he said, it's looking at what are all the things that we've built against it. So as a beginning point for you, I want you to end this hour with something that you can take away, because what we promised you was how to know it, grow it, and bring more of it into your world. So where I want you, rather than starting with doing something out there, I want you to take a moment and think about, what have I built up against love? What have I put in place? You can put it in the comments if you like, but make sure that you note it in your notebook for you. Just take 10 seconds or so, 15 seconds, and just write down, what are one or two things? One thing that keeps me, or that is a barrier to me experiencing love, is shame, is feeling like I'm not good enough. There's always something that's not quite up to snuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or guilt about something that maybe you did recently. For some of us, it may have been decades ago, but that thing is now standing as an iron gate around your mind, heart, body, and spirit that disallows love to really come in for you. Just take a second and think about, what is that thing for you? What are the 1, 2, or 3 things? Charmaine mentioned several of them that often get in our way. So guilt and shame are 2. So just take a second and think about, what are some of the things that I've built up against love, as a way to begin your own kind of, as I would normally say, pimping out your own kit to have more love, really tricking it out, like South Central style, fuzzy dice, purple sparkly paint. What's going to happen? Be the thing that really allows more love in. Anything that you want to add in for folks as they're thinking about this, Charmaine?
Yeah. So as we add in, what are the things that we've built against love? And there's a lot. If you really look at it, it's also, if we look at just the United States of America, like, what have we done with love? What have we built? What have we done with the way that we position people and put people in the world that has shown up unloving, right? We have to, like, we all have been touched by these things.
Yes.
So with all of this diversity and inclusion training and biases and all of these things, we have all, if we tell the truth, we've been touched by it. So how do we start to dismantle and move in ways that are more loving? How do we actually, I don't know anyone who doesn't want to be fully seen and fully heard, who wants to be in a relationship with people who fully see us and fully hear us.
Yes.
And so why won't we offer that to other people as well? But let's offer it to us. How will we sit with ourselves and really get to know who we are? I believe that love brings us back home to us. And we're just walking each other back home. I have, my North Star is love. We're just like, that is like my journey to love, but it's our journey. And I don't want to do this alone. I want all of us to do this together, because my freedom and my liberation is bound up in yours. I don't want to do this without all of you. I want us to do this together. I want us to offer grace to each other. I want us to be able to move. Like, if we all, like, what is it, that saying, hurt people hurt people? What would it look like if loving people loved people?
Yes.
What would it look like if we showed up loving people? If we showed up being the love that we have been with ourselves, right? If we showed up being the love that helps other people heal, and we can do our small part. It doesn't have to be big, right? And when we think we're not enough, if I stayed with that, because I think that often I'm not enough, I don't have this, I don't have that, all the things that we can build against moving towards love. If I stayed there, I wouldn't be talking with you today, but it's just that important to me. So I don't come here as a perfect human being that has love altogether. It's as someone who believes so strongly in it that I'm willing to put myself out there and to be an example, but also be someone that says, let's link arm to arm, let's hold hands, let's talk about this. Let's be out on this idea of love, right? I call myself a love nerd. One of my dear friends, she says I'm not a nerd, but I really, all things love, I really want to understand it, because I as I think about imagining or reimagining a world I want to see.
Yes.
Right. I want to see a world where we look back and we say, we did it, we made it. And one day we will be somebody's ancestor. What are we leaving for the people behind us? What are you leaving for the generations behind us? What are we leaving right now today in this present moment? What are the actions that we're taking that is leaving love in the world, right? So now we're not talking rainbows and unicorns. I'm not talking about blowing bubbles and kumbaya. I'm talking about the real work of love.
Can you repeat that question? You said the real work of love right before that. And you said, what is the legacy that I'm leaving? What is that? How it landed in my mind. What is the legacy of love that I'm leaving? But that's not exactly how you said it.
Okay. So in real time, I don't remember what I just said, but really the question is, what is the legacy that you want to leave, right? What does it look like for loving people to love people instead of hurt people? Because that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing hurt people. But if more of us say, I'm going to stand on the side of love, and while I may not understand it all, I'm choosing to stand with love. And what does that mean, right? It's a very scary place to be, because we don't celebrate love in the way that it should be celebrated. We celebrate an idea of love, and we maybe celebrate romantic love and those sorts of things. But love calls out what's not right. Love is bringing social justice into the conversation, right? Love says, I see you as fully human, and you are my sister and brother, while you may not look like me, right? I don't have an only child. I don't have siblings. But when I talk to people, I see them as my brother and sister. Therefore, I cannot behave in ways that I wouldn't treat my brother and sister, right? Yeah. So again, and then I think I was talking to you about reimagining, like, how can we reimagine a world that offers us love, that doesn't highlight all of the things that's wrong with the world, but really looks at how do we change this so that the people coming behind us can live a better life, for people who are here right now to live a better life, not even just behind us, but right now. How can we take an action today, right now, that says, I'm going to commit to love in such a way that it changes and it heals and it frees and it does all of the things that I want my life to be.
What I love about this, and I have to give you a shout out. Michael just gave you a whole new shirt design for the one to add in. He said Love Nerd would be a great addition to the t-shirt line. I am with you. Yo, I got to put my request in. Give me a little DJ beanie hat. Y'all, I wear these earphones on purpose. It's Dr. Nicole, aka the DJ Doc. So give me a little Love Nerd hat. Love it. I love it. So as you all are in our last couple of minutes, here's the piece that I want to just kind of bring back to the fore. This is, and Gay says, love nerd. So you're getting some real love about the love nerd situation. And I love Cheryl is also bringing in, hey, another quote from Rumi. This is love, to fly toward a secret, to cause 100 veils to fall each moment. So, love removes the walls and permits true connections. That's also Cheryl's contribution on love. So as you all are thinking about this, one thing that I don't want to skate by, whether you're watching us live or you're watching this later, the power of imagining what Charmaine just said, being able to not just think about, but to see what is the love legacy that I want to present right now. It's not waiting for something. It's seeing, I want to presence in the world and bringing it forth this minute, this situation, in the midst of everything that's going on around our country and perhaps in your own household or your own family. So as we are thinking about this, I'm not sure what's going on with the sound all of a sudden. As we're closing out, just take a moment, and just consider, what's my love legacy? If you reflect on that and intend towards presencing love, you've dropped one of the greatest pebbles in the pond of life, and you begin to act out of that intention. Miracles await. So, with that, Charmaine, I want to make sure that folks know, and I will go ahead and put this in the comments. I think I put it in the description. It's Woo Forever LLC.com. Is that where folks can find the website?
So it's just WooForever.com, not LLC.
Okay.
And, you know, I just invite you all to enter this space of love. Come as you are, as they say in church, right? But really, just, we can do this together, right? It's collective love that's really going to change, but it's individually checking in with how we love first. But I believe in this thing. I believe in being here collectively and taking this journey together. So this is an invitation for more loving people to love people and to help change the world in a very real way.
So and you also offer, thank you so much, Gay. I know you got to run. Sands, it is wonderful to see you here. You mentioned your Love shops. So for those of you that want to learn and really take a deep dive into this journey for yourself, please check out wooforever.com for a schedule of main Love shops. And if you down with the apparel, go to, also on the website, you will see the shop link. And I love that Shanta says, what is my love legacy? Reflecting on this is sure to drive us all to nourish ourselves and others. Yes, absolutely. Cheryl says, thank you for the uplifting discussion on a topic close to my heart. It was beautiful. So as we let you guys go, we just want to say thank you for your intention to bring more love into the world and your attention with us here today and your presence. So as you take more love out there, remember to keep bringing more love in here. Charmaine, any closing words? I want to give you the mic before we shut it down.
No, I just want to say thank you, you know, to our love, to our healing. I hope to meet all of you as we take this journey together. I think we can do it. I know we can do it. I believe in love. I believe in us. I believe in humanity. So thank you for allowing me to have a voice in this conversation, this very important conversation. So thank you all.
Anybody who knows me, y'all know I was lying when I said your name. I had a final word. Okay, look, come back for the replay. We'll get it worked out. We'll get this. I'll get this replay thing worked out. You might have 2 replays from today up there, but you'll be able to enjoy both of them. But we just want to say thank you. Keep and review the chat for your Living Love resources. There are a couple of some great quotes in there, some nice wisdom bombs for your reflection. But most importantly, keep loving you. Keep loving you. That is that highway, loving those around you and bringing more love into the world. Charmaine, and Soror, and October 4th, twin, hold up. Thank you. Truly a wonderful, wonderful discussion. And we will see you all on the flip side. You can always check me out on the Practicing Positivity, my Facebook page, TGC Positivity. You'll see the schedule for future speakers coming in to help you build the right now relevant resources to support your resilience. So thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, everybody, for being here and just putting your energy into the conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Be well. Let me give you a little outro bounce. So wherever you at, get your little bounce going, little side to side. See, that's love right there, a little bounce music. All right, my people. Thank you so very much. We will see you soon. Be well.